Godzilla. What was once just a personification of post-war Japanese fears has become the stuff of nightmares. The legend has taken on a new form, moving away from the more cartoonish design of the 80s and 90s to something born out of true nightmares and fear. This new Godzilla is meant to be hated and destroyed. However, strangely enough, we're also meant to feel bad for the kaiju. Godzilla was first conceived in 1954 by Ishiro Honda and focused on the rise of the now famous kaiju after the atomic blast that occurred in Japan at the end of World War II. His design was simple, a large bipedal lizard-like creature that towered over the Japanese skyline. Over the decades, his design has changed, building him more and more into a defined creature. As technology improved, so did his design. By 2014, Godzilla was majority CGI, with some motion capture to make movements more fluid. In 2016, Japan returned to the kaiju scene with its first Godzilla film in 12 years. This film changed the landscape of what Godzilla represents in Japanese culture, history, and influence. The duo behind this new film was Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi. This duo had worked on a few other small Japanese projects, including having such a dark show under their belt, they were prepared to tackle a new Godzilla project. However, they wanted to do it a bit differently from the others. Instead of focusing on Godzilla as a true villain or an anti-hero, the physical side, they focused more on the emotional turmoil of an ever-evolving nightmare monster that doesn't want to live. Taking inspiration from the 2011 Fukushima disaster and the mismanagement of the Japanese government that followed, Shin Godzilla personifies a new type of fear, that of government negligence. But that's not what we're here to discuss. The music of Shin Godzilla strays away from the usual themes we've seen in other Godzilla films, taking a new approach to personifying the kaiju. In particular, the song Who Will Know brings a new type of tragedy to an already tragic tale, one of wanting, of yearning, wanting to give up while being forced by nature to push forward. The difference here is that it isn't from the perspective of the civilians of Japan, but from Godzilla himself. In this breakdown, I will be separating the lyrics into two parts, the brain and the body. Each section will have each part highlighted as we talk about it. The first section starts with just the brain. The lyrics shown represent Godzilla's internal sadness and pain, knowing that he is only causing destruction, and he fears that his legacy will only be of the damage he caused instead of how he truly feels. This passage is repeated in the second strain, which adds the body's perspective. It creates a call and response between his emotions and his true power. The second phrase, as mentioned, brings forward his body's urge to continue. He must carry on, and that nothing worse can befall him besides the pain he already feels. His heart and mind want him to stop, but the power and evolution of his body keep him going past his comfort. Listening to just this phrase shows the true turmoil of Godzilla at this time. Godzilla lives in agony in this film. There is no longer a happy Godzilla as we've seen before. Now, he lives, as it says in the song, in a void that is free of hope and bliss. It is only fear and a downward spiral. This is evident in the third phrase of the song. When the chorus comes back in the fourth and final phrase, we see that even though his life is full of emptiness, he still carries on, as long as breath comes from my mouth. His body sees survival as even the one small step that he can take. But what does this all mean? Why should we sympathize with the monster? Why do they want us to feel sorry for him? Shin Godzilla is unlike anything else that we've seen in the franchise. He is a being of true emotion who exists in a constant state of pain and agony, yet also still carries on. What he truly represents, in essence, is the human experience. We live our lives constantly evolving, constantly growing, but also constantly in pain. Whether it be physical, spiritual, psychological, or even emotional, there is pain. However, we can carry on. While Godzilla didn't get to have that chance, we can. We have our lives to live, and this movie shows us we must take the most of them. This movie means a lot to me, and I'm really happy to talk about a score and a film that changed my view on film.